In 1498, Machiavelli became an official in the government of the New Florentine Republic. The republic was set while the French invaded the New Florentine. Then it led to the explosion of the ruling Medici family. Machiavelli's duties were mostly diplomatic missions to other city-states. While he was in Rome, he was interested in the attempt of Caesar Borgia, son of Alexander VI, so he created his own principality in central Italy. He was imprisoned, beaten, and exiled from the Florentine Republic. He then devoted his energy to political philosophy suited for the time and the family that had ousted him. He also wrote The Art of War, Florentine Histories, and other books about history. He was known for his sayings such as the quote, "Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see and few can feel. Everyone sees what you appear to be, few really know what you are." After writing The Prince, he passed away.
Machiavelli wrote The Prince in 1512, around the same time he was kicked out of office in Florence. Although The Prince was circulated as early as 1513, the book was actually published in 1532, a few years after Machiavelli died. It is a shorter book, with 26 chapters and around 30,000 words. The book is considered Machiavelli's most widely read and infamous piece of literature. Machiavelli wrote the book to provide rulers with a guide to politics based on his own experiences and interpretations of history. In the book, he attempted to teach rulers how to build political power, create a state, and keep that state. Machiavelli wanted to bring a sense of realism to the politics of Italy, although some argued his views were too dark. Perhaps the best example of this is his answer to the question, is it better to be loved or feared? Machiavelli answers that it is better to be feared because love is fleeting, while fear will last much longer. One easy way to summarize all the ideas Machiavelli put forth in his book is the ends justify the means, although this is an oversimplification of everything he says. Many people, both in Machiavelli's time and today, saw this book as an endorsement of power for power's sake. This has led critics to call The Prince a handbook for tyrants. Among the book's critics were the Catholic and Protestant churches. Both churches condemned The Prince because Machiavelli argued that politics should be outside the control of religion and religious figures. Others have viewed The Prince as a form of political satire, but it is unlikely that this was Machiavelli's intent. Despite the views Machiavelli put forth in The Prince, his real political ideas were more closely tied to a republican system, like the Romans. In his other famous works, Discourses on Livy, he praised the Roman Republic and the ideas of self-government. Machiavelli hoped that a tyrannical ruler would be the push the Italian people needed towards becoming self-governing. This could have been why he dedicated The Prince to Lorenzo de' Medici, the ruler of Florence at the time. Some modern historians believe the book was a sort of job application from Machiavelli to Lorenzo. However, it is unlikely that Lorenzo and the Medici family ever even read the book. The Prince is considered the first modern philosophical book, hence why some historians consider Machiavelli the father of modern political philosophy. The Prince has defined the aspects of a Machiavellian character, and the influences can still be seen today. The ideas of the book are quoted many times in the Robert De Niro movie A Bronx Tale. Characters that are considered Machiavellian in modern television and movies include The Sopranos' Tony Soprano, Othello's Iago, and Game of Thrones' Lord Peter Baelish and Lord Varys.
These characters are cold, cunning, scheming, and unscrupulous, especially when they are trying to advance their own agendas. They seem to have little to no morals and will do whatever it takes to gain power, even if they have to kill. These Machiavellian characteristics were based on how some people have interpreted the advice Machiavelli gave in The Prince, even though this was not what he really believed.
Dying in 1527, leaving us with his controversial ideas about politics and government that still shape the world we live in today. If not for his stubbornness, so many would never have thought to think otherwise when it comes to ideas or change of the mind or thinking outside the box.